So let's fast forward then and sort of look back at the return. Right. This is OSIRIS REx, I believe, was the second fastest man-made object to enter the atmosphere at 43,000 kilometers an hour, which is an incredible amount of energy that needs to be dissipated with its ablative shield and that sort of thing. And you were there in Utah, waiting
Yep.
for it to make impact, a gentle impact in the desert of Utah, about 500, 600 square kilometer target. And you were one of three people who were there to say hello, to greet back.
Well, there was more than three. I mean, we had a couple of helicopter loads of
Of
people.
course.
There's some pictures where there's three of us there, the three of
Yes.
us who were some of the first to approach it and to check out the state of the SRC, the sample return capsule, to make sure it was in good shape. Because if it had come back and was damaged in any way, then we would want to follow procedures that made sure that we did everything we could to maintain the pristine nature of the sample. But the capsule actually touched down pretty much perfectly. I mean, as you've seen the pictures, it's like
Yeah.
actually balanced on its nose cone, which was surprised the heck out of me when I saw that.
You can see in the sand the way it rolled like a top.
Yeah, well, so there's a couple pictures. You're probably thinking of the Stardust one, maybe, but
Oh,
so
yep.
when Stardust came down, it was in a crosswind in the middle of the night in a snowstorm, and it hit moving sideways.
Yes, that's
And
right.
so it hit and it bounced and flipped, and it hit and bounced and flipped, and it hit and then eventually ended up on its edge
Hmm.
and rolled for a while, like a quarter on a disc. And then it
Yeah.
finally laid down on its side.
Right, right,
And
right.
it did go in a circle at that point. You can see in the mud the circle as it went around in a, in a complete.
That's the image I was thinking of. You're
Yeah.
right.
So OSIRIS REx came down during the day, which made it a lot easier. There was no storm, which made it a
Mhm.
lot easier. And it came down on its parachute almost perfectly vertically. So it came down and it hit on its nose cone and it bounced up and landed on its side and then just rolled back onto its nose cone. So it rolled back into the original divot. And so it had a little cup after it hit, and when it impacted, it crushed enough soil down to make a divot, and it rolled back into that and balanced. And so
Oh,
when we
beautiful.
first got there, I thought, like, okay, who's been messing with the capsule and tipped it up on its nose? Because that's not a stable way for it to be. But when you went and looked very closely, you could see the divot where it landed on its side and then just tipped right back
Oh, that's
in.
beautiful.
So it was a very elegant landing. If I had been holding a card up, I would have given it at least a 9.9. And that also meant that the capsule was not put under any particularly additional stresses associated with breaking any seals or causing anything to have the potential leak. So this meant our sample was inside, nice and safe, completely uncontaminated by any of the local soil or vegetation or anything else. And so it was a really excellent touchdown.